My name is Leanna Firestone. I'm 20 and I'm a singer-songwriter.
So, Leanna, you have your new album coming out, your first album. Exciting. It's called Forward Slash, coming out February 24th.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about it? It's your first album, so how do you feel? Are you excited?
I am over the moon about it. Like, it's the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me. The idea that I get to be like, hey, I spent literal years on this and now it's yours is a very, very scary concept to me, but I'm super, super pumped about it. I'm super pumped to get it out. I've spent a very long time on it.
And I saw that Smitten is also on the album. That's
Yes,
exciting.
Smitten was written about nobody, which is so interesting because so many people are like, this, you can tell in the song that you've lived through all of these like experiences. And in my head, I'm like, I wrote this about somebody that I made up in my mind. Like, this is not about a person or a particular like guy or somebody I was dating or whatever. And it kind of transferred because I had never like dated anyone, and now I am. So now whenever I sing my like one happy so like one purely happy song on the album, I'm always like, hey, this is about you. It wasn't written about you, but it's about you now.
Some of your stuff is written like fictionally, or like you like make up the stories in your head.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Because they're very relatable. Like, your songs are like, people are like, why are you calling me out like this? Like,
Right.
how do you do that?
A lot of it is rooted in things I wish would have happened, or things like that almost happened, things that kind of happened but not in the exact way I was talking about it.
You said you journal a lot. Well,
Mhm.
you used to, and now you kind of
Right.
do it for songwriting.
Yes.
So how much is like real and how much is the fictional type of stuff that you do?
I would say now that I'm getting into more of like, well, I always wanted to do my own music, and making songs about characters was kind of a way to gauge whether or not people would care about me in general. Because I was like, I know if I can get them to care about this, then that caring might transfer over to like what I actually have to say about like my own life. And so when I was first starting out, I'd say like 50-50 was real. Like Strawberry Mentos was like, I never had my first kiss and I wanted it to be like that. So I was like, which character would do that? So it's like, okay, yeah, like the wanting of that, the longing of that was real, but that never actually happened. So yeah, this whole album was written before I'd ever had my first kiss. That's something as well. That's a cool little fun fact. Kissing had never happened in the creation of this album. It's happened now, but when it was written before, none of the songs. But then as we got more into like least favorite only child, 10-15, closure, those were all like strictly 100% real. So now it's more of a balance between like 70% of it is probably real, and then 30% of it is probably like, would this sound good in a song?
So I saw like someone commented like, oh, I'm excited for your Lover era, and then you're like, yeah, not this album, babe. Like, so how would you
Nope.
describe the album coming out?
In terms of like Taylor Swift eras still?
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm describing the album that's coming out in a Taylor Swift era, I would say it is my Speak Now album.
Okay. All right.
Is this, I'm looking for confirmation. Yeah, do you agree?
Yeah.
/ just Speak Now? Yes.
Like, okay, so carrying on with the Taylor Swift thing,
Mm.
I saw that you said that Do You Want to Be Friends is your track 5.
It's my track.
Is it still?
Yes.
Okay.
When I wrote that song, I was sitting there. It was like very fresh out of a like, we were talking and like now we're not. And they were like, but we can be friends. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then it took me all of about 1 minute to figure out that no, I cannot. I'm still in love with you right now. And it hurts too bad to be your friend. And so when I was writing it, I was like, yeah, yeah, it has to be. It is. It 100% is. And the beauty of like the way that my album is laid out is basically like you're getting 20 songs in 10 songs because every song is a slash track, so there's always like a tacked on thing at the end. And so particularly in track 4 and track 5, those two are like the two that go together the best. They reference each other back and back. So it's less sad at the end, I think, than it is in the single version right now. But it's still definitely deserving, in my opinion, of being track 5.
Who else like do you like or like has also influenced like your writing, your music, all that kind of stuff?
Make a list?
Yeah, if you want to go down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Taylor. I'll I should probably start saying people's last names. I reference them like we're friends. Like, oh, Taylor. No. Taylor Swift, Sarah Bareilles, Maisie Peters, Dodie Clark, Lizzie McAlpine, Isabel Pless, Blythe Ross, Addison Grace. I'm just naming a bunch of women right now. Conan Gray.
So speaking of writing your album, how is that like the whole experience? You could talk about the writing or in general. How is that different from the EP? Because the EP was the first like collection of music you put out.
Right. Boy, oh boy. The EP was kind of something where I was like, these are my strongest songs. Like, this is what I feel are the strongest things, the most connective things that I have and that I've written. And they all kind of had a similar fan fiction feeling theme. And then the writing of the album came more that none of the songs in the album are about characters. Like, they're all about me. Or me, my life, whatever, which in a way made things a little bit harder because it's all about me. But I definitely narrowed down like things in the album like that I didn't like being perceived as angry. I don't have any song on there that's like particularly angry, but there was one on there that was like, and then I was just like, no, I'm actually not that person. I don't want to be that person. So a lot of my like anger is always reeled back in by like compassion, and that's like the overarching goal of the album is like, you can be angry, you can be sad, you can be hurt over everything that happens to you in your life, but always make sure that you're like keeping compassion for people that probably didn't mean to hurt you in the first place. A lot of it has to do with connecting one idea to a softer version of that idea, I guess. So Smitten, for example, is like this very rock heavy, hard, like pop, beat the cowbell shit, funk version of this love song that's great, and I love Smitten. But the opposite side of that, Vulnerable, talks about like butterflies never being a good sign. and because it's scary because you know that you're about to be vulnerable with somebody, and like as much as I love all those things about you, I'm so glad you never got braces. I love when you snore. Knowing that like I don't think your snoring is gross has put me in such an uncomfortable position because I know I like you. And so it's basically touching on the same theme in each particular slash track, just in a different way than before, which is why the album is called Forward Slash as well.
Do you have a favorite song on the album?
Yes, I do have a favorite song on the album. My favorite song on the album is track number 8. It's called Phantom Pain. I am so excited for this song to come out. It was almost a single, but I was like, save it for the album. Phantom Pain, great song. Love that song. Basically about when you lose someone, how like obviously things hurt really bad, like when you're first broken up with, and they're fine after. You give it time, things start to heal, you start seeing other people, you start doing other things, but like even then, every now and then, you still get like a twinge of like maybe you don't miss them, but you think of them, or you notice something in someone else that they used to do, or you'll see like a record player or the color red somewhere or whatever, and you'll be like, damn.
Is it your favorite song like ever?
Potentially. I have a lot of love for Least Favorite Only Child because that was like, like my come up, and I have a lot of love for Sun Eater because I think it's a really, really well written song. But Phantom Pain, I think, is one that healed me in a way that none of my other songs have ever healed me.
How would you like describe to someone has never heard your music, why should they look you up, like why should someone like just scrolling like click on,
Right.
listen to you, and what are you about?
Right. People ask me this all the time, or they'll ask me like, what genre are you? And it's essentially a shrug. It is shrug emoji. I am a singer-songwriter first. Lyrics are first for me always. So if they sound a little music theatery, that's why. So all of my stuff is rooted in lyrical messaging, lyrical storytelling, and then the kind of like how to best portray that in what genre comes after. So you're going to get a message in every song that's going to be like important and impactful. And that's not necessarily something that you're going to get like anywhere else, but I can guarantee that you will with mine. But as far as what I'm about is literally just honest storytelling. And just because it may not be completely true doesn't mean it's not honest, in my opinion.
Oh no, because it's relatable.
Right.
It's raw. Like
It's
it's
raw.
happiness, it's pain, it's everything. It's
Mhm.
deep. Yeah.
And that's the goal, is to make you feel and to make you think about what I'm saying and relating it back to your own life, and not in like a quirky girl relatable way, but like take what applies and leave the rest.
There's certain people where you're like, they just know how to write. And like you're one of them. Like you just know how to write. It's like so good.
That's all I ever wanted. That's so nice of you to say. You truly have no idea. Like, if I could have like a niche compliment on like somebody compliments my music, it is just I just want people to think that I know what I'm doing.
Do you want to like plug where people can find you, listen to you, follow you, all that good stuff?
Yeah. So I'm Leanna Firestone. My handle on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram is Leanna Firestone, and you can look me up on any major music platform at Leanna Firestone.